Hello friends, Niki again here with the women final from Munich. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoy making these videos and a lot of people ask me whether you can support me. And for this I set up a Patreon. I'd be happy for you to support me. I don't get paid by the IFSC, I just do this because I like it and you like it and I think it's informative and it's a lot of fun for me to do this. It also takes me a lot of time, so roughly I spend 10 hours for each video, sometimes more, sometimes less. And if you can and if you want to support me, there's a link in the description box and I'd be really happy if you would do this. I set up one tier so far and please tell me what additional content you want to see, what I can offer for you, what do you want to know, interviews with athletes, behind the back scenes, I don't know. Please let me know what I could do for you. Otherwise, enjoy the videos, stay climb, keep parkour, and see you after Wales or maybe earlier with the semi-final from Munich. Bye bye.
And here are our finalists for Munich. Chanourdie, second time in a row in the Bouldering World Cup final. Fanny Gibert, Mia Crumple, first time ever in a senior World Cup final. She won the European Championship in bouldering last year. She had a severe knee injury after semis and she had to do this 1 minute pressure test on her knee whether she could compete or not. We also see Katja Kadic again. And for the first time ever, also Ievgeniia Kazbekova, the daughter of Sergei Kazbekov, a World Cup climber in the late 90s, early 2000s, and of course Janja Garnbret. Let's go, and we start with boulder number 1, Janja Garnbret from France. And you had to run into this thunder cling, then get your feet and your hands in the right position so that you can bump to the left with your left hand, side pull, the other side pull for your right hand, and then the first crux. These moves were not too hard, just took a long time. First crux as matched before, leaning to the right and then dynamic with the left foot, stomping to the left. We see second try. In her third try she crossed through with the right foot first, then left foot, right foot to the right again. Took a lot of time, and the definite hardest move was honestly the one after this, where she unfortunately fell. She ran out of time, and so it was Fanny Gibert in her flash go who was the first woman sticking the move to the left. She decided to jump, and then from the zone hold you had to push yourself into this undercling, get your left foot higher, right foot higher, and then release, launch and jump to the biggest jerk the route setters could find, and a flash for Fanny Gibert in boulder number 1. Mia Crumple with her injury needed some tries to stomp out with the left foot, and we could always see her wince and climb in pain. Unfortunately, she was not able to hold the crossover to the left. Neither was Katja Kadic in this try or the try which followed. First she popped off with her right foot, so it's time to take a look how to do this move. Katja Kadic on the left in her more successful dynamic try, and Fanny on the right. The same camera angle would help me a lot here to identify the mistakes, so it's more or less about guessing. I think Fanny on the right side maybe hits the hold better, but also her left foot could be further on the left so she can drag and smear and minimize the momentum already, while Katja's feet may be a little bit too far on the right side, not enough to smear and minimize the momentum. Also her arms are not bent anymore and she falls off. Katja is a fighter and she tries it a third time, which we can see here. Same camera angle, thank you for this stream. This time climbing next to Janja, and we will stop right here, the moment when they try to cross over as statically as possible, and we take a look at the shoulder rotation. Janja already crossed with her right arm to the left. Her chest is touching the wall, so she's as close as possible. Katja will do this on the left side in a bit, and as soon as she crosses over, her hip and her chest moves away from the wall and she is too far off to hold it and to get the second hand onto the hold. Janja stays close and she kind of dives underneath the hold, able to match in her flash go, of course. After this, you get the zone, and of course you want to apply with your right foot pressure into the undercling, so don't slip off like we've seen here. Next try, she does not slip off anymore, and it's kind of easy to match hands in the penultimate hold. And first top for Ievgeniia Kazbekova in her first Boulder World Cup final. Janja is the only one to flash boulder number 1, and she uses the right foot a little bit lower, then lifts the right foot a little bit higher. Of course, an easy flash for Janja Garnbret. Thank you for that. As most of the times, Janja leading the pack. Important to mention is Ievgeniia Kazbekova, who was the only one except for Janja topping a boulder in the semifinals. Really impressive. Boulder number 1 was a slow traverse to the left. Boulder number 2 was a quick traverse to the right. Out of this position, you could step over with your right foot and then left hand, right hand, which was hard to catch. The left hand is a dual text hold. We will talk about this later. Julia needed many tries, was not able to send it, and I call it the Admiral Akbar boulder because it was a trap. Maybe it was intended as a jump, but as we can see here in Fanny's second try, it's way easier to span to the right, lean slowly over, get control of the left hand, and then jump out of this position. The dynamic move seemed really obvious to do, and this is kind of a trap because the other way, this better, is way more controlled. Heel hook, pulling over to the right, get this good crimp. You can cut loose, like Fanny demonstrates here. You don't have to. A heel hook again. Every position is stable and solid, and just one more move to the last hold. She can look around, reposition her feet, and then move to the top. After all, it could be an intended trap by the route setters. It could have also been that none of the route setters could imagine a girl to span this distance. It kind of worked. Mia Crumple did decide to go for the jump. She needed a couple of tries, but in her 5th try she was able to stick the dyno, and now we can compare why she was able to do the dyno and Julia was not. Easy to say, hard to do. Julia didn't hit the hold in the sweet spot. The hold is a dual text, like here, which means it has friction on the inside, on the pocket side, and it's slippery on the outside. I couldn't find a better picture on the cheater homepage. I guess it is a cheater screw-on. Compared to Mia on the right side, Julia hits the hold on the slippery side with her left hand a little bit higher and is not able to stick it and slips off. I have to say, this is an extraordinary performance by Mia Crumple in her first final. With an injury like this, not giving up, and especially the part which comes after this one. She tries it with a heel hook on the right side, then she goes open, uses her right leg as a pendulum, but now she places a heel hook on the left side. She could have avoided this if she climbed it like Fanny, but she releases the left heel hook there, gets the hole like so close, and we can see how much pain she is going through and how much she suffers. You could jump to the zone hold or step out on the right side. Ievgeniia decided to place a left heel hook. Unfortunately, she ran out of time anyway, but she got the zone. This boulder didn't look too hard either, so everything prepared for another flash by Janja, who stepped higher with the left foot, which made it easier to cross over. Maybe she was a little bit hasty, overconfident, or she just has too much power because she moved too high and missed the zone hold. She got the zone hold in her second try, and I have to speed it up from here because we've seen the end already 2 times. Nevertheless, it's always great to watch Janja. She decides to go for the same method as Mia, releasing on the left, jumping into the shoulder, into the top hand crimp, and going into boulder number 3 with Fanny head to head, followed by Ievgeniia and Mia, who both were able to top 1 boulder so far. Welcome to boulder number 3, my favorite boulder of this round. I call it momentum is key because it was not possible to do it without momentum and catch and kill the swing on the first hold, even though everyone tried to do this and it looked really close to being possible, being done. But even Ievgeniia, who was able to hold on a long time, slipped off. Janja Garnbret here trying it as well, so let's take a look why it did not work. First of all, we are jumping from the left to the right, so as soon as you catch something on the right side, you swing back to the left side, and because of this, everyone tried to smear on the left side with the left foot. Because the left panel was incredibly steep, you would have to push down your heel a lot to create a lot of smear surface, which was not possible. We can see it really good here. The left panel is so steep. Furthermore, you have to kick with your left hand like really far to the left to push yourself to the right side. So this arrow is supposed to signify the position where your foot maybe has to be to keep yourself to the right into the handhold. Everything not possible, so everyone fell off. How does it work? Julia Chanourdie will show us right here. Jump and use the momentum, the swing, to carry you higher into the next hold, crossing over with your right hand. Spectacular dynamic move. After this, it wasn't too hard. Right hand and now a heel hook or standing on the left to keep your body to the left, slapping the left hand and then one more time slapping with the right hand, and the first top for Julia Chanourdie at the Munich Boulder World Cup. We'll take a look with a messy, really bad camera angle. Julia on the left uses her hip, doesn't try to stop like Fanny on the right. Her hip swiftly moves higher on the right side and the momentum carries her into the next hold, while Fanny tries to bend the arms, stop the momentum, and then at the last moment possibly tries to move and unfortunately fails. This is such a rad and incredibly good dynamic move, so we have to take a look really close now. On the right side, Fanny in her best go where she sticks. The problem, her upper body is rotated a little bit to the right and a little bit open. What I mean is, on the left side, her shoulders are kind of parallel to the wall. She's looking into the wall, while on the right side, her shoulders are opening. Her whole body is opening to the right side. Her right knee can carry her out of the wall to the right. We will see this in a minute, how her upper body turns, twists and rotates, and her knees are higher and carry her into the next hold. Everything higher, facing towards the left, and now pulling on the higher hold, her body rotates and moves to the right again, so she has to kick it with a foot to minimize and kill the momentum. Sideways, slowly opening the hip, rotating over the hip and over the hand. Mia Crumple here, also using momentum, doesn't open her hip that much. Janja Garnbret using the momentum but tries to slap higher with the left hand. It took her some tries, it didn't look that graceful, but she was able to do this move, use the momentum pull, and then goes into the shoulder. I stopped right here to show you the different positions they arrive in. Katja, for example, is pulling to both sides with her hands, so it's a little bit right hand towards the right, left hands to the left, and the shoulders keep the stability. Her feet are not that important, while Fanny uses the momentum, gets pushed to the left, then pulled back and pushed back to the right, and needs to kick and kill the momentum, the swing. She's doing this with kicking her right foot higher and planting it on the volume. We've seen Mia, she didn't do this, which was a little bit more powerful. Anyway, Katja's method worked as well. Two different ways to solve this dynamic move. Anyway, this dynamic move is still my favorite move of this whole competition. Thank you. This thank you goes out to all the route setters and of course also Janja Garnbret, who flashed boulder number 3 in her dynamic style, and she made it look so easy and so natural climbing on this wall, so I had to include her send again, even though we talked about it. Thank you, big smile, and going into the 4th boulder with another flash in boulder number 3. One more boulder to go, my least favorite boulder of the competition, I have to admit, because the start was a little bit boring, especially Julia. It took a long time to get to the zone hold where the real boulder started, so I just speeded this one up, made this quicker. So let's take a look from here. Sooner or later everyone arrived on the side pole on the arete, then jumped or stepped just higher to the zone hold. All these blocks are blocks volumes, and some of them had tiny screw-ons on the side. Short traverse to the left, there was a screw-on on top of it, a toe hook on the toe hook jam on the right volume. The toe hook offered the stability to let go of the right hand, then cut loose. The right foot on the right volume or the left foot on the right volume pushes Julia to the left side so she can cross or go with the right hand, doesn't really matter. We will see different ways. What we see here is a 2.5 minute flash for boulder number 4. Julia Chanourdie flashing the easiest boulder of the competition. Why the easiest boulder? Because you had so many ways to climb it and nothing seemed to be really hard. Funny, slipping out of the toe hook campused the section in the 2nd try, and after this it looked a little bit burly but not too hard. The screw-ons on the volumes made it kind of easy to hold on. Mia Krampel picked another way to climb it with the feet first to the left. Apparently, or as it looked like, she had a lot of pressure on her left foot. We can see she's almost crying, and this was really emotional because with the heel hook on the left, which was possible but made it really strenuous for her heel. Apparently she didn't want to use the right toe hook, so she opted for a figure 4. Really spectacular fight, and then left hand higher. Oh, there's a knee bar, which makes it easy to go with the left hand, and then rearranging the position, going dynamic with the left hand, and she was crying. And I have to say, I had some tears in my eyes as well, because it was so emotional how hard she fought and how much pain she had to suffer, and she ended up flashing this boulder, and she ended up on 3rd.
And they acknowledge her. It was so bad at one stage she winced on that boulder, and she deserves every clap she is getting there. That is one of the most heroic performances we've seen in a long time at the IFSC.
I couldn't have said it any better, and I just wanted to show you the atmosphere and also the figure 4 on the left side. The leg kind of squeezes you into the position, the left leg, and also prevents your body from swinging from the left to the right and vice versa, and it demands a little bit of power, but out of the stable position, which is usually mainly used at ice climbing or dry tooling, Mia was able to stick this move. Katja toe hooked on the right side. We can clearly see the toe hook jam keeps her body in a stable position. The left foot smearing pushes you higher and gets you to the next hold. Then different ways to release the position and to get your feet to the left and higher. Didn't really look that much harder the one way or the other. What looked harder was this move if you did it wrong. Ievgeniia on the left side has her left leg straight underneath her and pushes mainly upwards, not to the left. We can see that her right leg is also way lower than Janja's right leg and also a little bit further to the left, so she can't push from the far right, while Janja's left foot is on the right big foothold and she can push easily from the right side into the left side and also has the height. Janja's hip is pushed further to the left, also further off the wall, which makes the navigation towards the next hold a little bit easier because she can lean outwards once she has it without falling off. So what we see here is Janja's flash go, as mentioned before, the easiest boulder, and she didn't struggle once. All the positions, all the holds were just too easy, too good for her. Anyway, record for Janja Garnbret, 5 World Cup wins in a row for bouldering. No one pulled this off before. She's our big favorite, and maybe next weekend in Wales she can do the sweep, which means 6 World Cup wins in a row. I know she's flying to Wales. She never made it into finals in Wales so far, so it will be an exciting competition. I don't know whether local hero Alex Puccio will compete. I expect some Americans to make it into the final. We will also see a head-to-head battle for the Boulder World Cup between Tomor, who's coming again, and Adam, who's going to Wales as well.
So this was an exciting final. As mentioned before, I think the last boulder was a little bit boring, but anyway, really solid performance by Janja, and we will see each other again after Wales. I will do Wales both categories. I will also do Munich semifinals. I don't know when. I'll try to hurry up. I think next week I have to do a lot of setting, especially the weeks after this, till the end of June. But I will do the China World Cups sooner or later. I'll try to hurry up, and then we will also do the Lead World Cups, Toby and I. So see you soon. Bye bye.